can you see this person's perspective,
Right.
but can you see beyond this barrier that is in front of you right now? And we do get to that place of gratitude and actually appreciation. Now, it takes us refusing to stay in a victim mindset in order to do that.
Howdy.
Howdy.
How are you, Miss Teri?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I got really tickled this weekend. I was at the Southern Equine Expo in Murfreesboro, and someone said, the show that I do with my sister. And because they said, you and Teri look so much alike, I thought y'all were sisters. I said, well, we are. We're spirit sisters.
There you go.
We spirit sisters. That's who we are. But I'm glad everybody's here today. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad that we've got a little bit of a break in this weather here I say in Nashville. You're here you're in a neighboring county, but I'm glad we've got a little bit of sunshine popping out here, although it is colder than, I'll get out.
I know it got cold again. I mean, last night it was 70 degrees, and today I checked and it was 41. I mean, literally last night, 70. And
yeah. It cray.
But you sent me something last night, and I thought it was really neat. And it was on your Transcending Turbulence Facebook page and Instagram. A gentle reminder: energy follows thought. If you're continually thinking or believing you can't trust people, you will attract people you can't trust. If you think or believe on some level you're unworthy, you will attract people who will not value you. It's not rocket science, it's neuroscience. And we think things into being.
Well, we do. And it's all in, how easily we can get stuck in the I can'ts, It's where we put our energy. And I know for a lot of people, it can be woo-woo to talk about energy, but the fact of the matter is, if you get up in the morning and you look out the window and it's raining and you think to yourself, oh, it's going to be a horrible day. You have literally you've assigned your brain something to do. Look for the horrible in the day, and the brain will look for it. So it's not, I hear people all the time say, it's just too hard. And I'm like, that again is a choice. Like,
right.
That is a choice. That's a choice to say it's too hard or it's too, it's too whatever. Now, obviously, we're not talking about if you're going through a major life upheaval or crisis.
Right.
Or you have a loved one, or you're struggling with a mental, physical, emotional health issue. Yes, those things are challenging in their own right. We're talking about, we're dialing this all the way about to the simplicity of how we do our day. Why didn't you go to the gym today? It's just, I just don't have time. You have just as much time as you had in your 24-hour day yesterday. So just get real with it. It's not a priority. And it's okay for things not to be a priority. But the one trap that we put ourselves in, that we think that it's hard, is that we overcommit, overexpect, overobligate, knowing that we don't want to do certain things anyway. And then it becomes hard. And then we start seeing all the hard in it. What if you flip that? And I'm not talking about toxic positivity, but I'm talking about, what if you flipped it? What if you got up and you said, it's chilly today, but the sun's out?
There you go.
It's chilly today and the sun's out, not but.
Yep.
It's chilly today and the sun's out.
There's power in our words. Corinne is with us. Hello,
Hey,
Corinne. Hello. And Elizabeth joins us.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Angie is with us. And Elizabeth says, day-to-day outlook and attitude.
Absolutely.
It really is. And that's another thing too. I've had people repeat over and over the phrase, I'm so broke. I'm so broke. And whereas I'm so broke comes into play, if you repeat that over and over, you put that into the universe. I loved the movie The Secret. Not the documentary. I love the movie with Josh Lucas and Katie, who used to be married to Tom Cruise, but I love that movie that was about how we manifest and we put into the world. But remember that thing, it used to hang up in houses, raise a child up with criticism, and you bring an adult into the world who becomes critical.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing of, and it is true, how we feed our brain and our thought processes that's the garden we grow.
Exactly.
Attract.
Exactly. And and I know a lot of people think it's easy to dip into, well, that's just, you talking about that new age woo-woo stuff, or that stuff doesn't matter, or that stuff is just too fill in the blank.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, we're not talking about anything that we as human beings don't do every single day.
Right.
I want to lose the weight. Oh, it's too hard. Or, yeah, I'm going to commit to doing that. I want to stop, smoking, drinking, whatever it is. Oh, that's going to be challenging. Or you commit to doing it. It doesn't mean it won't be challenging. It just means that once your brain has willingly committed and you've decided to do it, there's some power that comes in decisiveness.
Right.
When you are decisive about something, nothing can stop you.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing can stop you.
And Elizabeth said, yeah, that movie's so good. It is good. And she also says, it isn't woo-woo. I've made this thought pattern change in my life, and I can definitely see the difference between me then and me today. And that's the truth.
Absolutely. And the bottom line is, we're thinking, like when I work with clients and we talk about breathing patterns, and I'll say, well, try your breathing exercises. And they're like, I can't remember to do those. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't remember? Like, you are literally breathing every day, all day. How many opportunities do you have to try breathing? Tons, because you're breathing for 24 hours a day. Same thing with, how do we shift the mindset? And it is not hard. It's not hard. It's not complicated. It's not challenging. It's not rocket science. It's making a decision to do it and then doing it. And if that means getting on a piece of paper, Post-it note. I was at Hyundai, had my oil change this week. I stole their little notepad. I'm pretty sure they want you to take them for advertisement, but it's here on my table now. So stole or permanently borrowed, whatever. Write it down. Write it down. What it is you're going to do. Write down before you go to bed 5 gratitudes that you have, and then take it one step further. 5 gratitudes or 3 gratitudes. And then underneath that first gratitude, how did you actively play a role into making that come to fruition in your day?
Oh, good.
And then the second one, what role did you play in that to turn that into a gratitude? What was your active role? And then when you get up in the morning, set your intention for what you're looking for and willing to receive that day. Because when you roll out of bed and you say, oh, my back hurts, or I'm getting so, how many people get out of bed in the morning and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, I'm getting so old, my body hurts so bad. You literally are dumping the chemicals in your brain that supports those thoughts. So when you get out of bed and you say, I'm getting so old, my body hurts, then every time you sit down and you go, huh, or you get up and you're like, oh, my legs hurt, your legs hurt. Sure. Why do your legs hurt? Is it because you're not taking a medication you should? Is it because you're not doing body work? Is it because you're eating too much sodium? Is it because you're not getting enough movement? Change those things.
And we can. Joyce just joined us. Good afternoon,
Hey, Joyce.
I think, excuse me, that we can take into consideration the people that we find in our lives are toxic. How many of those did you invite? Actively?
All of them.
That's my case in point.
We can say, well, I didn't want that person in my life. That person just showed up. But if your mindset is that horrible people exist, people are going to take advantage of you, people are not going to treat you well, nobody treats me well, people take advantage of me, nobody understands me, you are telling the universal Waffle House of the world exactly what you want them to bring you and they lay it right in front of you. And what do you have? You have somebody that doesn't treat you well, somebody that doesn't understand you. And this can be relationship. It can be relationships with your kids, your friends, your family, the person that pulled out in front of you in traffic. If you are saying that that's what you want, then that's what's going to show up, because your brain on a subconscious level is programmed to find it, not because you're doing some dippity shippity stuff, but because our brain is a computer. The brain works on assignment. So when the brain has been programmed a certain way, that's what it looks for. We don't have phones, watches, computers, everything these days is electronic and probably disposable to some degree, but even our phones do upgrades. And if you were using the same modeling system you have used for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, sometimes 50 years, then your thinking is outdated. You have to upgrade that.
You just sparked something within me. When we buy a computer and it's brand new, we open that baby up, we turn it on. There is nothing in that computer that we don't put in there.
Right.
Same thing with our brain. It just hit me that correlation when you mentioned the computer, the phone. The apps on our phone are the ones we load into it. The data in our phone is what we load into it. The data that is here is what we load into it. And what comes out, I mean, because what's here comes out. It transfers to other people. It transfers out of our mouth. It's what we do. Joyce added this. Colonel Potter on MASH once said, our body can do amazing things if our mind will let it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we do. Our computers and our phones come with factory settings, and our human factory settings are our emotions. We have them for a reason. And a lot of times we don't use them. So we get into thinking, one track thinking, life is hard. I see people all the time that'll say, I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be loved. And I'm like, are you loved? Well, no, I don't feel like I'm loved at all. Do you love yourself? Well, yeah, I try. I don't like the way my body looks, and I don't like this, and I'm not smart enough, and I'm just, I'm like, okay, so you're answering your very question right there. You're telling me you want to invite into your life a top shelf experience, but you believe you're bottom of the bin. So if you believe you're bottom of the bin, you're going to attract a bottom of the bin because you're not ready for a top shelf experience. So you're going to keep having these bottom of the bin experiences with people, places, things, until you start shifting that. And that can be, when I say that it's not challenging, it's not challenging. You make a decision, but just like with forgiveness, it's not a one and done. Right. You might forgive a person or forgive yourself for something 1,000 times, but that's the work and the process.
What is your value? We have set our own values, and we set our values not only by what we say out loud, but what we think in our minds. When we look in the mirror and we start tearing ourselves down before we ever walk out the door, that's setting our value for the day, for the week, for the month. It's setting our value. And every day we discount ourselves in some way.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Even if you're setting your value for top shelf, but your belief is that you don't deserve top shelf, you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
Right.
Because what you're doing is you're saying, well, I'm not attracting those people that I want. No, you're not. And you know why? Because you don't believe you're deserving of it.
Yep. Man, I tell you what, it just hits me how many times I have walked out the door with a thought in my head that was different from the thing that I had dressed up to be. Now, today is not that day. I'm, like I told you at the beginning, and we both discussed, today my energy is a little low and whatever. I'm tired today because I was up late last night working on something. Not a bad thing. It's not, and I don't feel sad or any of those things. I'm just a little tired today.
Mhm.
And usually I try to, we're on. So I try to go, woo, I'm up. I get myself going. Today, not so much. But I'm here, and we show up, and we share our stuff with each other here. Elizabeth says it stings, and it is so true.
Mhm. So, I
It's
mean, I know everybody has their own. There's a lot of great quotes out there, and this I'm reading this one now, and it says it's from Gandhi. I don't know; it could be from Martha Stewart because the internet's not full of a lot of truth sometimes. But
yeah.
your beliefs become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits. Your habits become your values, and your value becomes your destiny.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
think about that. If you are feeling like
Mm,
you're getting the raw end of the deal, the short end of the stick, then if you're believing that you don't deserve that, then you think you don't deserve that.
hmm
And even when we start putting those things out there, what happens is that the lineage of that is that you end up your beliefs and how your life is working is always in sync. It's
hmm
all the thought and the human connection stuff in here that we're trying to bob and weave. If you're not where you want to be in life,
hmm
it's likely because there is a subconscious belief there that you're not supposed to be there or you don't deserve to be there. you know. And I know that's a lot of people are like, that's not true. Okay. I'm not going to argue with you. If you
Well,
believe that that's not true, then okay.
then it's not.
It's not it's absolutely,
Mhm.
it's not true to you. And if it's not true to you, that's
Mhm.
really all that
Mhm.
matters.
It is all that matters, Uh, if one said, if you think you're wrong, you're right.
Absolutely.
I said, fun song hooks for 20, Alex, but that really is true. Elizabeth shares, no matter the ups and downs, there's a constant underlying of peace and contentment when beliefs line up with the way we live life.
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know it's true. It really is. I remember one time you caught me. There was this gentleman in my life, and I mentioned him, and he's one of those swoony ones that I kind of go, whoo, man. I said, but he's I'll never achieve that. I mean, he's like, it's like, not him, and you said, what are you saying? And I was laughing because on Valentine's Day, the first call that I got was from him,
Mr. Swooney.
Mr. Swooney. And then 2 days later said, I just have to hear your voice again. And I'm going, what? What? And because in my mind, I'm going, well, no, that, never, no. You know. And Tupelo wanted to say hi. Hi, baby. Anyway, but we discount ourselves, and then we go, well, that could never be for me. That could never be. And I watch people do this all the time. I've watched girlfriends who have someone who is interested in them, but they go, I'm not their type. I'm not cute enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not whatever enough. And very obviously, this person is very into them. But because they have that vibe of their thought processes being, no, I'm not enough, it ends it right there.
And I tell people to challenge those when you cross a path with somebody who says, "Well, no, I'm not, I'm not good enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not this enough or that enough." I ask people like, "What?" And we've talked about this in the past, and you will recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
What are you getting out of that thought process? And how is that
Mm-hmm.
thought process keeping you where you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough. When clearly you are, it keeps you from being it keeps you from the possibility
Mm-hmm.
of being let down, hurt, loved, admired, appreciated,
Mm-hmm.
validated. Because sometimes, although those things sound really lovely, sometimes they're so far outside of your comfort field that the thought of receiving them scares the living shit out of you. So
Yep.
you live in a world where you're pretty in pink and you're bedazzled in barbed wire. And so you attract and
Oh.
attract and attract. That's good, wasn't it? That just came right out of my head.
Oh my gosh, that was really good. Bedazzled in barbed wire, pretty in pink, yet bedazzled in
You
barbed wire.
know, and we live in this space where it's like, I want these things, but then you're attracting people in, but you have put up this field of you can't come in. And then we blame the world. It's everybody's fault because I'm not getting what I want. No, it's not about fault, but who's accountable for your beliefs? You are. Did your parents do some pretty shady shit when you were younger? Probably. Did you have lovers and partners in your life that screwed you over? Fair chance that we've all had that a time, maybe 3 or 4.
Mhm.
You know, have you gotten fired from the job that you talked about you hated for so long? Yes. And when you got fired from the job, did you gripe about it? Absolutely, because they did you wrong. You didn't even want the job to begin with. So it's about accountability. And when we start leaning into, okay, if not this,
Mhm.
something better. If not this, something better. And
Wow.
allow yourself to believe in yourself, thus believing in your dreams. Because if you set the energy out that life is hard, I mean, I have heard people say before, and it is mind blowing, I'm just waiting to die. And I'm not talking about people in hospice, Devon. I'm talking about people that are 30 damn years old. I'm
Mhm.
just living life, waiting to die. And I'm like, well, that is just a
What?
sad realization that
It's awful.
you have health and you have so much to be grateful for. It's not about you have so much and other people don't have it. It's about you've been given this amazing gift of life. However you choose to use it, there's no right or wrong. It's yours.
Mhm.
It's yours. You can live it however you want to. But if you truly want to live it where you're extracting the most out of it
Mhm.
experience wise, then allow yourself to put the thoughts out there that support the dreams that you have. But get clear, are your dreams, do they line up with your beliefs?
Perfect. Corinne says, I'm 71 and have a lot of life I want to live. Corinne, you have so many.
Absolutely.
Corinne has got so many cool dreams that she shares with us here on the show. And Joy says, I've got to where I look in the mirror after I get all dressed up sometimes and just say, you look great for a going on 65-year-old woman. Okay.
Joyce, Joyce. I'm going to have to get you on that now. Now, you could have said all that loveliness and all that sweetness, and you could have left that last part off, because what you did was you complimented yourself and then you came right back and slapped yourself silly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I look great for a 65-year-old woman.
Mm-hmm.
You look great.
She
Period.
says, okay, Teri, let me have it. Well, it is true. But you know what? She's right. She's right in how we do talk to ourselves like that.
Absolutely.
We qualify our compliment to ourselves. We qualify our things and we see the things. There's this British comedian and I love her. She's a very ordinary person. I mean, she's just as we all are. And she's talking, she's laughing. She says, I take good care of my skin. And she says, but I have this line in my neck, goes all the way across, like I'd been beheaded in some ancient time, and it just grew back kind of okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I laughed because I go, that's my neck. That's why, it's like, oh my gosh. But when she did it, it made me laugh. And it made me look at it going, if you develop this sense of humor based on aging and things like that. And today I was really busy and I've been up since 5 working on some projects, and I go, I didn't fix up for today's show. I didn't do whatever. I said, I just jumped right into it because I said, you know what? I'm here. And sometimes we show up in our days, and instead of being all this critical and stuff, I just said, I'm showing up and I'm going to bring what I have. Because exactly as you said, because our thought processes attract to us, whether it's abundance or lack, whether it's love or not love, there's all of that stuff that, we can literally think ourselves into a better life.
Absolutely.
It all starts right there.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing: doesn't matter what has happened in your history.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what has happened in your history. If you are present in your today, you are fully responsible yourself
Mm-hmm.
for course correction, because that family train can get going and the wheels can go and it can pick up momentum. And if you stay stuck in the thought processes of I don't deserve, I'm not da 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 da, I'm not da 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 da, then you are giving your life. Oh, you're actually giving somebody else 2 lives, because you're gifting them part of yours, because you're not blooming, you're not thriving. And I'm not saying this is it's an everyday 24 hours a day thing. These things can popcorn up, and so I challenge people to, I have to challenge my own self. I mean, it's none of us are above having thoughts that are unloving, unkind thoughts that pop up. But if you choose to get on that Bronco and try to ride it, well, you can expect to be bumped and bruised. And if it tosses you off and you break your leg, don't cry that this horse hurt me. No, you chose to ride that horse. So if you choose to ride the beliefs that you're not good enough, that you don't deserve, and that, life isn't fair, and then you keep getting the buckets of caca, don't complain about the caca. You are saying that's what you expect. So don't complain about it. Instead, use it as compost and start creating something amazing with it.
Oh, wow. That's really, really, really good. Corinne says, Teri taught one time to pivot. I take that to heart. When one thing is hassling me, I go to something different.
That's right. Just pivot. Pivot is so much gentler than change. And, I'd love to hear your 2 cents on that, Corinne, because change to the brain means, oh gosh, I can't ever go back. It's black and white. And it means, and while some change in our life, we want to consistently change, but the brain has to have time to get used to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I use the word pivot because pivot means you're going in one direction, you pivot. You might slide back a little bit, but you can continue to pivot, and if it's not working in this direction, you go that direction. Mm-hmm. But it's not a black and white. So the brain receives it as more of a, okay, I'm gonna follow you on this and see where we go, because I still have control to go back if I want to. Absolutely. We're not changing this all the way out, but
pivot away momentarily away from the hassle, but go back and conquer it.
Mm-hmm.
I love that idea. Mm-hmm. I love how victorious she always sounds. Corinne, you always bring that really positive outlook. I like that. Well, let's talk about the group that meets outside of this little Wednesday time.
Mm-hmm. Our next one is for the 25th of March. It's 6:30 to 7:30. This group, we've got about, I went back and counted. I think we've got like 26 women signed up. And this last group, we had I'll say a full screen. So there were probably, I don't know, 10, 15-ish, maybe 9, 10. I don't know how many there were. It doesn't even matter. And it was a really great inaugural, support community for women. And we touched on a lot of different topics. And it's going to be, if anyone is interested in joining it, it's a no charge. It is the last Monday of every month from now, or February through December. It's for an hour-long Central Time. So wherever you are in the world, if you want to join in, we welcome you.
Angie said, absolutely love the group on Monday. Can't wait till the next.
Yeah. Thank you, Angie. So, and Elizabeth it's going to be a great group of, and I can't read
women.
Okay. I've got little icons.
Yeah.
Covering her comment. So
yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. So
yeah. So it's a good group of souls that have collected, and like I said, we talked about all kinds of stuff. We bounced around into menopause, perimenopause. We bounced around into ageism. We bounced around into body stuff. We just bounced, and that's what it's about. It's a collective of beautiful people who. I think I said this to someone one day when it came to me when I was out walking one day, and I kept seeing like all these flowers like popped up in their own little spaces. And in my brain, because I work in a visual, I thought, how beautiful would it be if all these little random colored flowers were just not cut down and scooped together, but just in a space growing together. And that's how the thought came.
Angie says, I felt like I could be open and not judged. I love that, Angie. That's so good.
Absolutely. And honey, I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff. So, I mean, we had people that just jumped right off the high dive and was just like, well, let's talk about this. And we did. And it wasn't like we had a lot of a gas and I can't believe we're talking about this. It was just like, here we are. We are a group of strong, beautiful, brilliant, independent women.
Joy said, I loved it.
Whatever we want to talk about,
Yeah. I love that. I hate that I missed it. I lost all track of days because I worked right straight through the weekend and I forgot what day it was, in my own life, not what day the event was. And I went, oh my gosh, oh no, I missed it.
Well, lucky for you, there'll be another one.
See, there you go.
And you're not the only one. I spent all day yesterday. I'm not kidding you. I spent all day yesterday thinking it was Monday. All day yesterday, I thought it's Monday. It's Monday. And then it dawned on me it wasn't Monday.
I set an alarm because I've started working at home more than in an office. I set a clock now that tells me what day it is when I get up. It's like, it's like, oh, it's Wednesday. It's launch date day. I mean, I have like different days delineated. Like we used to have underwear when we were 7,
Don't you miss those? Those
I know
that said Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
You knew
Saturday.
what? You always knew what day it was based on your underwear, and you always
had those back, Devon.
I think we do. Embroidered day of the week panties. That's what we.
EB, can you help us out with that? Elizabeth is the guru when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Jesus. Yes, you got the alarms clock system working. Yes, And Corinne says, I look at my cell phone to tell me what day it is. I'm glad I am not the only one. I'm going to tell you that right straight up. Angie's laughing at us because we all want our day of the week undies back. I love it.
Absolutely. But I don't want no granny panty day of the week undies back. I want them little cute ones again.
Well, I kind of like those granny panty ones because they're more comfortable.
See, and I guess it's a preference, right? So
it is a preference.
We'll make sure they come in all cuts so that everybody can have their version.
That's right. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Elizabeth has found a link she just shared on Amazon. Colorful panties, underwear colors. I guess it's day of the week underwear that she put down there.
There you go. And I don't mean any offense to any men listening. You women out there will get this if you're of a certain age. We probably need Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. because if you laugh too hard, you're gonna need another Monday. So I'm just saying. But anyway,
Angie says thongs. Well, I don't want one of those. I don't. No, just no.
see, everybody's got
Well,
their preference.
everybody's got their preference. I just
That's
love it.
right.
Well, y'all, this has been so much fun, and we are here each and every week around the lunch hour we spend together on Wednesdays. This is Launch Date. And Teri, you want to take us home?
I do. As always, we appreciate you choosing to spend your time with us. And it's always fun. It is always fun. Even when we dip off into those heavy-hearted conversations, we circle back because we know that we can have those, and there's always a place for that. And we appreciate your input and your sharing with us. Anyone who wants to join us on the Monday night meeting, just either leave well, I'll tell you, don't leave your email below, but reach out to me in a message or Devon in a message and give us your emails, and I'll add you to the list and send it out. If you,
Hey, Barbara.
Hey,
Barbara,
Barbara.
she goes, I missed a fun day. Love and hugs. Well, you can go back. We're always
That's right.
here.
That's right. And until we see you next week, and God willing, we will see you next week. So please remember to be kind to yourself. Search Amazon, get your Monday, Sunday undies. And as we all do, increase your peace. See you.
Bye, everybody.